back to royalty soaps. Okay, so for months now, this girl has been commenting on all of my videos. Her name is Chloe Wallace, and she's like, girl, make me a cookies and cream soap. You have got to make a cookies and cream soap. And she has said it like 15 times, and other people are like, yes, yes, a cookies and cream soap. So this is for you, Chloe. I totally noticed as soon as you said that. I mean, I had kind of been wanting to make this for a while, and I kept putting it off, and then you said it the first time, and I was like, oh yeah, cookies and cream soap. And then you kept on telling me, and I was like, all right, I gotta do this for Chloe. I love you guys. I pay attention to the comment section. I pay attention to all the requests that are being said. Now, I can't respond to every single one of them. I remember when there was a time when I could, and every single comment I got, I would go and I would think about what that person said like it was a real face-to-face like interaction conversation, and I tailored every single response like to be extremely personal because I care about each one of you individually. It's just now there's like 300 comments and I wouldn't have time to make videos anymore if I like answered every single one of them. So I still care about each and every one of you watching this video. I just, if you want to see more videos, I can't like respond to every single one. I hope that makes sense. All to say, this soap has been in the cooker for a while, but the execution was something I kept going back and forth on a lot. I didn't really know exactly how I wanted to do it until I made the complete design a few weeks ago, which who knows when you'll even be seeing this video, so giving you a time frame is basically worthless at this point. I'm rambling. I'm so sorry. Here we go again. I need to just do a video that's like a Q&A so I can just sit here and talk. So without further ado, this one's for you, Chloe, and all you people who have suggested cookies and cream in the past. And let's go ahead and get soap making. We're going to be doing a very large batch of the cookies and cream soap today. So I have my large tub. This is from Target. I'm going to burp my stick blender real quick. This is the Cuisinart stick blender. So now I'm going to blend on high. I like to blend on high for the bigger batches because there's just so much more to mix up. And then we will stop and add the colorants and split off the batches after the soap reaches light trace. Everything has now been emulsified, so I'm gonna tap my stick blender. The first little bit I am pouring off is for the cream on the inside, so I'm gonna fill this bucket up almost all the way. I'm gonna place it off to the side while I fill up these other two buckets. So then I'm gonna split the rest of the batch off between these two buckets. This is gonna be for the cookie part. My spatula! I must fetch it. I swear I am always forgetting my spatula. So I'm gonna scrapey out my big container here. We won't be going back to the big container, so I do wanna make sure that every single little bit makes it into one of the buckets. Great, so let's talk about coloring. These two buckets are going to be black, but the fragrance oil naturally discolors, so I don't have to add a whole bunch. And then this little guy right here is gonna be white, but I'm gonna add a little bit of these coffee grounds here. The coffee grounds are not going to scent the soap in any way. The fragrance oil is too powerful for that. If the soap was left unscented, I might be concerned, but because the fragrance oil is so bold, this is not in any way going to affect it. These have been finely ground. It's organic, fair trade coffee. The coffee in there is going to give the illusion of ground up cookie pieces. And so I'm going to take some of my titanium dioxide that I have mixed with water, put a little of that in there, and then I'm going to blend on low. That looks really nice, but I do want it to be a little bit whiter, so I'm gonna add a little more titanium dioxide. I brought you guys in for a close-up so you can see just how much this looks like cookies and cream. Gonna set that mix off to the side, and now it's time to blend up the colorant into these containers. So I'm only gonna work one at a time because black oxide, which is what I'm using to color this, tends to thicken up soap, and I don't wanna pour the first layer, then pour the white, and then the second layer be already thick and gloopy and hard to work with. I mixed up some black oxide off camera formula in this container, and if you mix up black oxide with water, it will thicken up a little bit, so just beware of that. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of that into one of these buckets. Set the other bucket off to the side, and now we're going to blend this up on low until all the color has been equally dispersed. Now that the black has been mixed up, it's time to add the fragrance oil. So this is a custom blend I created myself with 4 different fragrance oils. In my opinion, any single fragrance oil that claims to smell like cookies and cream or cookie cream pie or what have you doesn't actually do a great job of creating that smell. It's one single note most of the time of just chocolate, but I think when I think of cookies and cream, I think of something that has some vanilla in there as well. So it needs to be an equal balance in my opinion. So I had to custom blend that myself. And now that the fragrance oil has been added, I'm going to begin by mixing it in with my spatula first. Most chocolate fragrances that I have worked with in the past tend to accelerate the speed at which your soap sets up. So I like to blend it in with my spatula first. And then depending on how it does and the day and the humidity and all the other factors that go into your soap speed, I may decide to put a stick blender in after all. I don't think that's going to be necessary for this one though. It's definitely thickening, not super quick, but enough that putting a stick blender in there might become disastrous. Okay, so let's pour our first layer. Whoa, you can see my face in the reflection of the soap. Hello. As I said earlier, we're doing a really big batch of soap today, so I'm having to zoom you guys way out. And you can see here, my soap thickening up, but I'm honestly not worried about it because when you're only doing one color like this, it's not that big a deal. And the quicker it sets up, the quicker you can put the next layer on, and you guys know how impatient I am. These soap layers are not going to be perfect. They were never really intended to be perfect. Anytime I think of like a cookies and cream pie or something, it's just those layers are just always kind of uneven, especially once people cut through it. So because this is kind of based on a food, we're not really worrying about those crisp layers. I'm not gonna shake these loaf molds down. I'm not gonna tap them on the table or on the ground. I'm gonna leave them just like that. Anytime you use black oxide in a soap, the containers are always a beast to clean. All right, I lied. I'm gonna shimmy it at least a little bit because the middles are a little higher than the ends. But lucky for me, it's already thick enough for me to pour the next layer on, so I'm excited about that. The next layer is of course going to be the white, and just so it doesn't break through like a whole bunch, I am going to use my spatula to help ladle this on. I want to make sure that there's enough for every single soap loaf to have it completely covered, so once I fill it up enough for that to happen, I'm going to move on to the next one, and then if I have any left over, I'll just put some more in there. There's something so satisfying about watching 2 very contrasting colors get layered on top of each other. It's so pretty. While I'm waiting for the white to set up, I'm gonna go ahead and clean out my soap making buckets. I'm not gonna mix up the top yet because once again, I don't want it to set up too fast. I want this white to be hard enough to be able to support the weight of the black. I shall now summon my third hand to appear. We're gonna pour in the black layer. We're essentially just trying to break the initial fall, as I feel like I've said a million times. And these things are just too heavy for my scrawny arms to hold by themselves. Now we can go back and fill in the bits that are a little short, which are pretty much all of the loaves at this point. It's so hard sometimes to pour these buckets and not drip it on the one right behind it or scrape the bottom of your bucket behind you. For the piping on top, I'm using the Royalty Soaps piping set available at Nurture Soap, and I have the large piping bag with an open star tip. And then the piping has been colored with titanium dioxide. It has a few of those coffee grounds on the inside to sort of give, again, that cookie feel. And then I've added a teeny tiny bit of dark steel gray. It probably won't even show up on the camera because It's so faint. But with cookies and cream pies and stuff like that, the white almost always has a little tinge of gray, and it's probably because of the cookies being ground up in there. So I'm just trying to make this super accurate. I'm so excited because I just got in Lily's new summer clothes. And she's so petite, you guys. Like, I got them all in, and I started trying some of them on her just to make sure that they fit and whatever. And you guys, she is going to be 9 months old in June. I cannot believe that it has been that long. But all of her clothes, I got like 6 to 12 months, hoping that they would fit her, but they're all too big. Like, her little shoulders, they're just so petite. But honestly, having a baby has been so much more fun than I even knew it would be. A lot of people on Instagram asked me if I have liked being a mom, and thus far, like how hard it has been and stuff. And of course, I love it. It's even more fun than I thought it was going to be. There's so many things in life that have just been enhanced because Lily's here. Like, even events that I enjoyed before, now that I get to take her to them, it's even more fun. I've also had a lot of people ask me if I struggled with postpartum depression. I didn't really, like, there were a few days in there where I was really tired, and I think just the exhaustion kind of got to me, but I wouldn't really call it depression because it only lasted for like 48 hours. I think one of the reasons why I was able to transition so smoothly into a mom is because I have a lot of experience with babies and children. For those who are new around here, I am the oldest of 10 kids, and all of them are my biological siblings from the same 2 parents. My parents have never been divorced. So coming from that angle, I was really acclimated to babies and all of their isms, and it was just relatively easier. I think I had a leg up. Now, I have a little bit left in my piping bag, so who needs some more? You do. And you do, and you do, and this little guy over here, maybe this guy right here, this fella right here, and this guy. Now it's time to put in the cookie embeds. These are the little Oreo embeds that I have chopped in half. I made a silicone mold tutorial, which is honestly just more of me trying to figure it out my own self, if you're interested in watching that. That was my first time using silicone mold making material, and I think if I ever do any custom molds like that in the future, I'll do a better job of it. Man, this stuff smells so good. I can smell the soap up through the piping. By the way, on the other side of soap, I'm gonna add these. These are 1/4 of the little cookie piece. I'm just gonna add that in right up there. This is just, it's just to kind of make it look crumbled. There's so many different recipes online for Oreo themed whatever. There's like Oreo fudge and cookies and cream pies and cakes and puddings and whatever, and I literally just want to eat all of them. This is the only thing which I like the chocolate better than I like the vanilla, because they have golden Oreos, but I still like the chocolate ones better. And pretty much anything else like ice cream or pudding or whatever, I like vanilla more, but not with Oreos. Now that all the little cookie embeds are in, I'm gonna take some more of these coffee bits that I've ground up, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this on the top. And once again, no need to worry about the fragrance of the coffee overpowering the cookie smell. It's not gonna happen. That cookie smell is really strong. It just makes the perfect effect on top for crushed cookies. And then I'm not gonna put any glitter on these because I am trying to go for a relatively realistic food interpretation, and I feel glitter might kind of mess it up even though I love it so much. I'm just gonna sprinkle some more on these, and then of course I will spritz with rubbing alcohol. I almost forgot, I'm also going to add a little bit of drizzle onto the top of my soaps with this black melt and pour. Make it kind of look like chocolate sauce before I spritz with rubbing alcohol. This is what the soap looks like on top. It looks so scrumptious. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna let these bars sit for 18 to 24 hours, and then we will come back to chop them up after this quick commercial break. We are back the next day to cut up the cookies and cream soap, and you guys, this scent has mellowed out into a really wonderful interpretation of a cookies and cream smell. It's so good. I'm gonna press down very gently with my 18-bar soap cutter Evangeline. These are available at nurturesoap.com. Gently, gently. And if we pick out one of the middle bars, this is what it looks like on the inside. Yes, it looks so delicious. And one of the things you're probably gonna notice first about this is that these little spots are showing up from the coffee, but after it sits a little while, it kind of mellows out into something like this. So you can probably tell the difference in that yellow discoloration. You can also probably tell how I kind of just slapped this second layer on and the first one and how it's uneven. These aren't perfectly straight lines. And once again, I think that really adds to the realistic look of this soap. And it really does smell so good. Like, you guys, this is a keeper. I'm going to definitely be keeping that fragrance oil blend I created. The question of the day is, what is the best part of the Oreo? Is it the cookie or the cream? I think it's the cream because I like vanilla a whole bunch. To vote on the question of the day, you can click the I in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Let me know what you guys think. Is it the cookie or the cream? K-Love, this smells so good. Smell this.
Yeah.
Does that kind of remind you of Oreos?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I love the cookie crumble on the top, too. I think that really adds to it. Kind of just ties it all in together. I hope you enjoyed this video. Chloe, if you're out there watching, I hope you like what I did. I was definitely inspired by your comments to complete this project. I love you guys so very much. Thanks once again for joining me today. It really does mean a lot to me. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you would like to see more soap making videos, you can subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to answer the question of the day. It's a very important one. And until next time, I hope you all have an absolutely royal day. Go out and do something for yourself. Have a cookie, have a piece of cake, have a little something sweet. And I will see you next time. So until then, bye for now.